Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. It's Uncle Swag here with NetDicks Reviews. Here to talk to you about a fun one, man. Hope y'all like this one. I'm here to talk to you about Airplane, the 1980 flick, man. This one's insane. This one's a real fucking crack. I don't know what to do with this one. You don't find movies like this anymore, that's for damn sure. That'd be a good place to start, actually. It's funny. A lot of people will say we're living through the pussification of America, and there's absolutely no doubt about that in many regards. But also, in music and cinema, a lot of times with blood and gore and porn and virtual reality porn and shit like that, we're not. We're living through the opposite, the exfoliation of society. I don't know, the unpussification of the week. Everybody's getting used to saying fuck all the time. That's why I'm out here saying fuck this, fuck that, because it's okay now. Back then, I can wear long hair. Like, I don't know. Some ways it's less pussified, but you won't see a movie like this anymore. It's a raunchy one. They wouldn't let them get away with some of the jokes they did. The one, and some of them are pretty funny. And I don't think it's racist, but also, who knows what is and isn't anymore. Maybe it is very racist. There's a lot of racially charged jokes, but does that make them explicitly racist? Likely. I don't know. I hope I can still have fun and laugh at this movie and not be marked a racist, but that's where it gets interesting. I'd be interested to hear your inputs on it, because I really don't know which side I fall on. I believe that it should be okay to laugh at this movie. In fact, I think so. I'm pretty confident in that. But yeah, there's some racially charged jokes, and it's got to be some pretty hot button topics in 2018. And you won't see a movie push these boundaries like it was doing in 1980, because it would not go over well by any means. But yeah, it's Airplane. It's directed by Jim Abraham, and it had a budget of $3.5 million. And holy fucking shit, guys, this movie punches you in the face from start to finish with laughs. And it's not laughs, with comedy. They don't give you a second to catch your breath. It's one joke after another joke after another joke, each spaced 15 minutes apart for the duration of the hour-and-a-half movie. It's fucking crazy. They don't make slapstick humor like that anymore either. I think it's funny that this is hey, I'll talk about that later. Let's go on to the white method, boys and girls, obviously. The directing is 8.5. Here's what the director does very well, Jim Abraham. It's humor. The directing plays into the comedy. In contemporary comedy films, that's not necessarily the case. In fact, it isn't the case. But in this movie, the joke is off screen, and the director brings it on screen at just the right time. Stuff like that. The director shapes the border so that the comedy is happening outside the frame. The directing is directly affecting the comedy, and he does it on purpose, and he does it in a very good way. So yeah, I enjoy giving him a high score for that. I think it lacked in sometimes in terms of stylistic cinema directing. I think they missed out on some of that, but it's a slapstick comedy, so he wasn't going for that, and that's why he gets an 8.5. He gets in terms of comedy, he gets as high grade as I'd give it a 10 for that, but it's a movie. So I like the other stuff. I like the flares. I like the camera cuts. I like the angles. I like the close-ups. I like the panning zooms. I like the close dialogue, switching frames. And he does a lot of things very well. And 8.5 is a good score, but it could have been higher if you wanted to make a real movie. But this is basically one long sketch. It's an hour-and-a-half sketch, which I fucking love. The acting is 8.5 out of 10 as well. This one, I had a really tough time, actually. I had a really tough time determining how to grade the acting, because it is a slapstick comedy. So, the acting is not going to be the same that you'll find in a, drama or a suspenseful thriller or something like that. It can't be. So I have to grade it according to that, and I think it does that well. I think it does that well, but I think the acting that it takes to perform some of these jokes and some some of the humor. I think there's skill to it, and I think Airplane hits it on the head pretty well. By no means would I give him a 10 on acting. I don't even know if that's achievable in this genre. Yeah, I just don't know. How would you be like one person I'd give a 10 acting to in comedies would be Will Ferrell. I'm pretty confident that it's, I guess the way you would do it is if you removed an actor from the movie, how much could you change the movie? And so I think this is about an 8.5 in that regard. The acting is supreme, but not a 10, not unequivocal. You remove Will Ferrell from a Will Ferrell movie, it is no longer a good movie, I venture to say. So that's where I got an 8.5 for that. 10 out of 10 on writing. I think that's easy to say. The jokes, the comedy, the outside the box thinking, the pound for pound, punch for punch style of comedy. It was truly entertaining to watch, especially as a fan of contemporary comedies. You just don't see that style anymore. So I'm gonna go back and hopefully watch some of the Naked Guns here in a little bit. I love Caddyshack. Those of y'all who have seen that review, it's a similar style comedy as that, but Caddyshack's different. This is seriously its own brand. It's punch, punch, punch. It's a spoof. This has turned into what the spoofs turned into, and so that'll feed into the impact. I gave it a 9 out of 10 on impact. So clearly it impacted cinematography as the spoof genre exploded here in the early 2000s to mid 2000s, which I hated. Right, those movies sucked. That was the shit that Airplane spawned. So maybe it wasn't that great. It kind of makes you think like that. Although those movies made a lot of money. They made about fucking 1,500 of them. Yeah, no. So it influenced a generation of cinema. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And it's Airplane. It's timeless. That's the big thing they get out here with the impact. I'm watching this almost 40 years later, and this movie is still fucking funny and pushes the boundaries and irreplaceable, irrepeatable. It is a funny, timeless movie, and so I'm tempted to give it a 10. But I hated spoof movies. You can't get a 10 just because it's a good old movie. We'll give it a 9 and we'll stick with it because it didn't really impact cinematography. Spoofs came and went, and they didn't do too well critically, or I'm sure they did well in the box office, but I never liked them. And so this is my grade, and so I'll give you a 10. They dock 1 point for how bad the spoof movies that came after it were. But yeah, it's a great timeless flick. The plot's an 8 out of 10. I had trouble with this one. I should even... nah, just kidding. Here's why I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's, it's uproarious. It's crazy. Here's the main plot. The guy, Ted Stryker, he's an ex-war pilot, and he fucked up. He killed a bunch of people in, one can assume Vietnam, and he crashed a plane or bailed or something, and his comrades died, and he's never been the same since. He's been half the man since. And Elaine, his girlfriend, just broke up with him. She's tired of it. He's a big pussy. She says, "Fuck you, I'm done." And she's an airline attendant. So he runs through the airport and catches the plane and buys a ticket, and he's on her plane that she's attending because he needs to get her back. And that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then they're on the plane, and the fish is bad. And everybody who eats the fish gets this deathly poisonous. The people are dying. They're spitting up eggs. They're dying out there. And both the pilots and the stenographer, I don't know what the fuck he is, eat the fish. And so you immediately pass out and you can't do shit, and you call and half the people on this plane ate the fish, but Ted Stryker didn't. So Ted Stryker has to land the plane. He has to overcome his odds, land the plane, get the girl. It's a pretty classic story. But I like the part with the fish, We'll say that classic story gives it a 7. I like that everybody in the plane got sick. it's a fun little story. It hits you. It makes you happy in the end. It hits all the elements that you want hit. It's it's a fun little plot. It's a good one. It's an 8. I'll give it that. I won't give it much higher than that. Definitely, and you could consider giving it lower, but I think an 8 is a good score. And the ending is also an 8, much in line with the plot score. The ending makes you happy. The ending. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it. So, fuck it. He lands the plane, guys. He doesn't. Yeah, he lands the fucking plane. He gets the girl, and you're happy at the end. That's a big part of it. And so the acting was pretty good, I guess, because I bought it. You end with a smile on your face, and you're happy that Ted Stryker got Elaine back, and that's the point of the movie, right? That's what they're going for. So they hit that right on the head. And I think that makes a pretty good plot and a pretty good ending.
Head southwest on I-95 South.
Whoa, that's awkward. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. It's subjective, I get it. You could give it higher or lower. I won't give it a higher on the plot. I don't want to give it too much higher on the ending either, because it's just a nice feel-good ending. So I think that deserves an 8. A well-done feel-good ending. You can fuck up a feel-good ending, there ain't no doubt about it. And I think this one was well done, so it deserves an 8. And so with all that, when you put it all together, this movie, Airplane, gets an 8.3 out of 10. I'm sorry, I gave it an 8.4 out of 10. Yeah, this movie gets an 8.4 out of 10. I don't know. I struggle to give it too high, because it's a simpleton movie. And you can't give a simpleton movie too high. I think we're about touching max for the amount of effort they put into it, I want to say. And it's not that they didn't put in much effort, it's that it wasn't cinematically difficult, I don't think. Some of it was, and it was graded well for that. But it didn't challenge, And so, yeah, an 8.4 out of 10, guys. I think that's a fair movie, or a fair review for Airplane. It was a fun movie. It was an 8.4. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you happy in the end. It won't fuck your mind up or nothing. It'll I don't know. It's 8.4. It's not above a 9. It's not pushing anything. Yeah, that's it. I'll stop talking now, guys. Thanks.